Yo, 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 welcome back. Every painting is a bridge. The question is, where is this one trying to take us? Today, we're gonna find out. So go ahead, turn me on, hang out with me for the next 30 minutes, especially if you paint. We finna paint these clowns over here. All right, but today's gonna be a special day. Why is today gonna be a special day, you ask? Today's gonna be a special day because we finna transition from the choir. Well, hold on, man. Let's just start painting, bro. We're gonna discover what we're gonna discover along the way. I know what I wanna do. Look, not last time, it was last night. I was sitting around, I was like, man, I got some way, somehow, I have a little bit of free time. I could have played video games. I could have. But instead, I was like, bro, let me put some strokes on this thing. So, that's what happened. I came in here and I just started painting. For anybody that doesn't know, this is my painting about self-worth. Right? One of the things that I've been thinking about is like, you know, we painted these clowns, right? And like, something I want from them is to like, I don't want them to just be clowns for the sake of being clowns. You know, I want them to all serve a role. Like if they're gonna be here, then they've gotta have a story to tell, a story to add. I do think like some of these clowns back here probably are just there for volume, and that's okay, and that's fine. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna start with the back of this, getting the back of this bus on. Now look, I'm gonna come back for these clowns, y'all. These clowns are gonna be the last thing these clowns are gonna be the last ones that I touch, honestly. I don't know where else I was going with that. Check this out. We gotta paint from the back to the front, right? We gotta paint from the left to the right, from the top to the bottom. But what do we have back here? We got red. What's that mean? That means we gotta start back here. All right, so we're gonna put some of this white down. Why are we putting the white down first? Well, because it's in light. The sky is in light. The sky is not in a shadow. So we put the white down first. Just a moment ago, you might have seen me putting black down on the car first. Why is that? Because the side of the car is in shadow. Anything sticking out beyond the side of the car is going to be in light. Man, this one is crazy. But it's so appropriate for today's lesson. Oh man, I don't want to go here, but I have to. Well, what shape is the Earth? Oh Lord. He's like, no, don't talk about that. No, but for real though, what shape is the earth? What makes you think that is the shape of the earth? Ooh, new question, different question. What is the form of the earth? And what makes you believe that that is the form? You know, if an ant is crawling on your finger, I wonder what he thinks as it's crawling on your finger. I'm not even going to try to answer anybody. Look, this is what I can say definitively. There are spots on Earth that are rounder than other spots of the Earth. And like, what difference does it make is, I don't know. Let me explain where some of my personal confusion comes from. I experience the world in planes, right? I think we all experience the world in planes. I also access the world spatially as though I was painting. Like I look at everything as though there's like I'm looking through a frame. Maybe that's weird. I don't know. I ain't really worried about it. Like I'm not like down this road right now for the sake of like controversy. I'm down this road because it pertains to today's painting. Even though I've kind of lost my train of thought, I hate when this happens. But hey, it can be kind of hard to play the drums and have a philosophical conversation at the same time. So meet me in the middle. Forgive me, if you must, if you can. I can't forgive him. He said that the earth was flat. I did not say that the earth was flat. I can't listen to this guy. He said the earth is round. Can you believe that? I don't. Look. We paint, y'all. We in here to paint. And when we paint in planes. Three-dimensional objects, right? I don't care if it's a basketball. If you're gonna paint a basketball, the first form that you need to make is going to be a cube. What? Blasphemy! He said paint round objects as squares? Turn them off. All right, I digress. Don't do that. Don't turn me off. If anything, forgive me. But also understand what it is that I'm trying to communicate to you. I believe that painting, and I also believe that I'm still going. I feel like I'm still trying to explain myself. So just a little more patience with me, please. I believe that painting is very much so addition by subtraction. Right? So I want to paint a basketball and I want to make it look realistic. So what do? I paint it first as a square or as a cube. And then I add planes to that cube. Or I take away planes from that cube. And how do I take away a plane from a cube? I paint the background. I use the background to take away a plane of the cube. But I try to do as much of the background first before I ever consider adding a plane to the basketball. But should I add a plane, I'm gonna add the plane closest to me. Closest to me? The planes are gonna get added as the ball approaches me. Which kind of like leads you a little bit back to, I mean, some are gonna be like, nope, he's stretching, he's reaching really far for that one. It's kind of, still, it's like, yeah, fine. The earth is completely round. But we, as painters, definitely have to access it one plane at a time. And if I'm out of line, then Lord, forgive me. I wonder why it came out that way. You think they even gonna care about this? Man, ain't nobody gonna care about that. Just do it however. Just make it however. Okay. You know, if you put a man in outer space that only had one eye, what would he see? Oh, that's a trick that I use, y'all. Sometimes, like, especially when I'm drawing things from real life, I'll close one eye, especially if I'm looking at something and I'm getting like stereo effects. It helps me, you know, put like a mobile frame on the on what I'm seeing. So I'm kind of speeding through to get to Gerald the clown. So like a lot of this is just blocking in right now. And the reason why I'm speeding over to our friend Gerald is because Gerald is the star of the show. And we made it pretty dang close to the star of the show. So what's happening is his gravity is starting to affect the other objects in this painting, right? So instead of him being like a ghost in the painting, we got to introduce him. We at least got to turn the spotlight on, right? Because his absence is starting to impact the production of the other clowns. Now I told you all, I'm jumping. I told you all that It was the other night that I was loitering around my own home, and I was like, man, I want to paint. I just want to paint, just be painting, because I love doing this. And I started painting the letters that I want to put on the side of the truck. I was like, oh no, man, I can't do this. I can't do this not on camera. That's like a critical that's like a critical moment of the painting, and that should be on camera, so I can talk about my process share my process with you all. No gatekeeping here. No sir. Ooh, what just happened? I just had a stroke. Oh my goodness. No idea what just happened there. We're gonna keep that mess up though. There are no mess ups. I beg to differ. You should consider going back and fixing them. Yeah, I might be guilty of undercooking. All right, from here, I mean, that's, like I said, we're blocking in. We're just trying to get some of this information to the right spot. We'll worry about the deets a little bit later, because one of the things I like to do is use my peripheral vision, especially when I'm working on these things. Like, I gotta keep my eyes on him. I gotta make sure I'm not turning these lights on too bright on them, because like I said, these is the backup sangers. That's why they stuffed on the bus like that. One thing we don't like is draggy paint. So how do we make sure that we don't have draggy paint? Paint inside of the wet paint. So like this bright yellow right here, that ain't gonna stay. Now, I gotta be careful. You know how we were talking about those planes? If I start painting if all my brush strokes start going this way, then it's gonna look like, Gerald, our friend Gerald here, is standing on a slide. So like, I gotta paint the plane that Gerald is standing on. It's almost like I'm painting like floor planks here, right? And like, where do we want Gerald to stand in comparison to the car? Kind of want the car behind him, I think. We want the car behind him and in front of him. That way the viewer has, a chance to play with the idea of maybe he is getting on the car. Maybe he is getting in the car. And then the viewer can think, yeah, clown. I almost started cussing. That dummy is definitely getting in that car, and I would never get in that car. I would also never buy a work of art, especially when it costs as much as that one does. Who's the real clown here, huh? What are we doing on time? 20 minutes? Oh, great heavens. One of the things I said was that I was going to shorten the my intro so that there could be more painting time together. Ooh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't turn the lights on down here. Oh, I kind of did. I don't know. I could have done better, that's for sure. And because I could have done better, you know what that means. Probably gonna have to go back. I believe that you always want to do the darks first. Oh man, we are out of sorts with the. We'll come back to this. This is at this point low priority information. But it's become a mess. I got tangled. See, I've got these different planes happening and they're creating friction. Still, putting the shadows down first so that the light can move into the shadows and not the other way around. Okay. Like I said, this just needs to be good enough, but here I go, chasing perfection. Lord, forgive me. Okay. Now, I would never typically start with the foot. Like for a portrait, 9 times out of 10, I would not be starting with their feet. But I gotta like, his feet tell us a lot of the story, right? So like, I gotta make sure that I carve out the space for his feet. He gotta have some big feet, big shoes. My poor child is suffering from life. All right, so where is he standing? That's what we gotta establish. Like, probably need a bigger brush. It'll buff. More strokes. That's the consequence here. But putting the truck and our star clown on the same plane are gonna be what makes the storytelling portion of this painting work. But here we are at 25 minutes. It's time to start wrapping up over here. All right, about to lock us in a little bit more on our friend Gerald over here. Oh, that might have been too tight. All right. But y'all, it's game time. Let's see. Let's make them about, yeah, I like that. Oh, that thing got stiff. All right, time for the prepared close. All right, so here we go. A bridge isn't built in one day. It's built one connection at a time. One stone, one beam, one careful decision after another. Today's work wasn't about finishing a painting. It was about making sure nothing stands alone. Not the clown, not the bus, not the background. Every part has to belong to something greater than itself. Life has a way of asking the same thing of us. We spend so much time trying to stand apart that sometimes we forget we were created to stand together. So, wherever your bridge leads, today, tomorrow, just lay one more stone, strengthen one more connection, help one more person cross. Because one day, you'll look back and realize you were never just building a bridge, you were becoming one. All right, y'all, so I'm gonna keep painting here for about another 30 minutes because I'm enjoying my time. And then that will become, the end of this session will become today's thumbnail. And then if you wanna see the highlights, you can catch me on Instagram. That's Instagram.com/BWHue art, BEEDOUBLEHUEART. We publish a monthly magazine, and August the 1st we'll be releasing issue 003. That issue features Lost and Found, a painting, a bridge of hope. So keep that on your radar. You can find issue 002 on our website now, and that website is WRITOUTDABOX.com. That's right out the box.com. All right, y'all be blessed. There will not be a video tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm teaching my veterans. I'm very excited about that, my veteran class. We get to do our Army talk and stuff. All right, y'all, I will see you all. Well, we'll be back painting together again very soon. Peace.